Hi, I'm Spencer, and the story you're about to hear is incredibly embarrassing and uncomfortable. It has to do with how erectile dysfunction ruined my sex life and almost killed my marriage at the ripe age of just 26. Yes, 26 years old. It's common to think erectile dysfunction is an age-related problem, but that's not the case, which is why I'm going public with this shameful story. I don't care who knows or who sees this video. I need to show you that ED can happen to anyone at any time, because the root cause of ED has nothing to do with low testosterone levels, your age, stress, and it has nothing to do with what's going on in your head. That's why I encourage you to watch this eye-opening story till the end and hear the words I'm about to say, because your ability to achieve spontaneous, rock-hard erections has everything to do with what Time magazine has labeled a secret killer that can suffocate the life out of your manhood in the blink of an eye, which is why none of it's your fault. Plus, I'll show you this 60-second, 3,000-year-old protocol that revived my sex life and now gives my wife the most pleasurable, heart-stopping climaxes she was craving for a long time. Now, I know this might seem kind of out there, far-fetched, and controversial. However, this information is 100% accurate, backed by peer-reviewed research papers and tens of thousands of success stories throughout the centuries, and is giving men a second chance to enjoy their morning glory all over again. So, if you're ready to end your suffering with ED, to revive your sex life, boost your endurance, and do it all without expensive creams, pills, patches, shots, or even surgery, then pay attention. Because if you watch this video and do what it says, in just a few minutes per day, you'll have a natural, robust, and beefy erection so hard and large, she might not even know what to do with it. But I guarantee her eyes will light up with desire when she finds your best buddy bursting out of your pants for the first time in weeks, months, or maybe even years. Because it doesn't matter if you struggle with full-blown ED or just want to increase the strength and vigor of your pleasure piston. Your sex life and erections will literally age backwards after you start using this ancient ED fix today. Something drug companies, I'm sure, will hate for you to hear about. They rather you stay embarrassed and ashamed, with your relationship on the brink of disaster, ready to fall off the cliff at a moment's notice. Because if it wasn't for my flops in the bedroom, I would never have stumbled across this ancient solution proven to erase your ED in days. As I said, my name is Spencer Fields, and about 1 year ago, I couldn't get the slightest bit hard with my newlywed wife, Lisa. There I was, in the prime of my life, and I could not get an erection. I remember thinking I had a better chance of becoming an astronaut than my penis pitching a tent. Now, you may be thinking, what can this young guy teach me about reversing my erectile dysfunction? Well, I'm sure we can both agree, whether you are 26, 56, or 96, ED sucks. And having it at a young age threw me into a fit of desperation to fix this problem. Now, I have to be honest, things did not start out that way. You see, on our wedding night, we were each other's firsts. Yes, we were both virgins and wanted to remain that way until we got married. Being we were both raised in deeply religious households, it was important to us. So when we tied the knot, that entire day, the only thing on my mind was having sex. I couldn't wait for the ceremony to be over, the reception to be finished, and to take my beautiful bride, walk her over the threshold, lay her on the bed, and have sex for the first time in my life. And we did just that, over and over again. Our first year of marriage, we were having sex up to 5 times a day, like 2 horny jackrabbits. So my penis tapping out on me was the last thing on my mind. And let me tell you, the night we lost our virginity, she became addicted to sex. Great for me, right? Until my penis wilted over and died. I mean, here was this beautiful woman who could have any man in the world, and she chose to save herself for me. Her Prince Charming, as she would say. And after all that waiting, and all that sexual tension between the two of us, her Prince Charming would eventually be exposed as a toad. I never saw it coming. I remember when Lisa and I were dating. I couldn't even hold her hand without getting hard. In fact, I had to wear compression shorts while laying in bed together, watching movies, just to keep my cannon from shooting off. Even when we talk on the phone, the sound of her voice would instantly bring my soldier to full salute. And on our honeymoon was like fireworks morning, noon, and night. The thing was, my penis never failed me. I was her Mr. Reliability that never had to be recharged, and she could have it any time she wanted. I just wish it stayed like that forever. But it was like a switch flipped and things stopped working. And I had no idea why. Nothing had changed in my life. My diet was healthy. I exercised a few times per week. I was still incredibly attracted to my wife. She was hotter than ever. And I was a young buck, in the prime of my life. Yet, I noticed my erections were getting softer, and I was losing my staying power. But I didn't think much of it. Until one night. It was time to perform, and he wasn't playing ball. It was just too soft to get the job done, like a warm stick of butter. What the heck, I said to myself. This can't be happening. I'm only 26. I just started having sex a year ago. Well, we waited, and we tried everything while we waited. And I mean everything. And then, 30 minutes later, we gave up. We realized it wasn't going to happen, which was a shock to both of us. Was it possible for us to do it too much? Should I have paced myself? I remember like it was yesterday. I was laying on my back, my penis limp as a wet noodle, and my wife chuckling at the sight of my shriveled up manhood, because she'd never seen it look like that before. She even said the words, "Aw, it looks cute," which made me feel like a third grader who accidentally wet his pants in front of the entire class. I was humiliated and stayed up all night, praying I would wake up in the morning with wood so thick I'd pound last night's memory of my limp, shriveled up penis out of her mind. So, when I woke up the next morning, I lifted the sheets to take a peek, hoping last night was only a bad dream. But it was worse than I could have ever imagined. It looked like things had shrunk, and it felt cold to the touch, like a dried-up, dead fish that washed up on the beach. I ran to the bathroom and hopped in the shower, because I couldn't let her see me like that, and I refused to fail again when she woke up. So, that night, when we both got home from work, she asked me how my cute little buddy was doing, which fueled my determination even more. I picked her up and went into the bedroom, ripped her work clothes off, and tried to will my penis hard. And in less than 2 minutes, it was another blowout. I failed. She looked at me, angry, frustrated, and desperate for answers. I knew with certainty if this went on, it was going to spell the end of my marriage. Why? Well, this is a bit personal, but things became a bit rocky between us. Unfortunately, I had lost my job right before our big move, which we were planning months ahead of time, and had to spend every last penny in our savings account just to survive. And we were forced to move in with her mom. I thought there could be nothing worse. So my wife took a job she hated just to help pay the bills, and I was trying to find something to help us survive at the moment. I was failing on all fronts as a man, not being able to give her a home to live in, or the ability to satisfy her desires. And it wasn't like I didn't want to have sex. Everything inside of me wanted to ravage her and prove I'm still the man she married. Heck, it wasn't even about me anymore. I just wanted to make her orgasm and watch her eyes roll in the back of her head. And it wasn't until a late Friday afternoon did I realize how bad things became between the both of us. You see, my wife snuck home early from that dreadful job she hated, so we could have some alone time together, even though it was just a few hours before her mother got home. So, when she walked in, she grabbed my hand, told me to be quiet, and led me to the edge of the bed, where she instructed me to wait here, while she slipped into something a little more exotic. Now, most guys would instantly be hard as nails. However, I was terrified. I knew what she was doing. This was her final attempt to make my man-piece work. And every part of me was stimulated, except for that one piece of equipment I needed to work right now. So, in a fit of desperation, I started gently pulling on my penis, while she said from the next room all the nasty little things I could do to her. And that's when she walked in, barely wearing a thing, looking hot as ever. And immediately, my body broke out in a clammy sweat. But it didn't matter. She told me not to hold anything back, and was determined not to leave until both of us climaxed, which was great and all. However, the only thing that happened was my penis, shriveling up like a frightened turtle hiding in its shell. I just sat there, holding myself in my hand, feeling tinier than an ant, not knowing what to do. And you would think at this point, the reason I couldn't perform was all in my head, which, luckily, I came to find out wasn't the case. And I'll show you what I mean in just a minute, because all I could do was sit there and watch as her smile turned into the most disappointed look I've ever seen. Her arms crossed over her perky breasts and tears started welling up in her eyes. And she ripped into me, accusing me of not being attracted to her anymore, that I got tired of her after only a year, which wasn't true the least bit. And then she accused me of being unfaithful, that I was cheating on her behind her back, which again, wasn't true at all. And then the worst. She told me if things didn't get fixed soon, she might not be able to keep going on like this. Stuck in a dead-end, sexless marriage at just 26 years old. And you know what? I couldn't blame her. I can't imagine the shame she was feeling. Like it was her fault in some way. So I did everything I could to assure her she was not to blame, and that she was the most beautiful woman in the world. I grabbed her hand, looked into her eyes, and said, "I'm going to fix this, Lisa. I promise, I'm going to fix this if it kills me." And she just sat there, almost lifeless, looking down at the floor, staring at nothing. Here I was, a young newlywed, and I couldn't please my wife. That night at dinner, she could barely look at me. I tried to play it cool, but I could tell she was crushed, so we just sat there, dead quiet. Lisa, me, and her mother. Jeez, it was the worst. But I knew I had to take massive action and fix everything. So I started researching what could be causing my ED because I was puzzled. Here I was, young, healthy, and no medications. And although my life wasn't ideal at the time, I wasn't overly stressed about anything. I sought professional advice from a doctor, which wasn't much help. I was recommended the standard cocktail of erection meds, which, even if these worked, which they don't for everyone, I'd have to keep buying more and increase my dosage every year, until finally the pills wouldn't do the trick. Plus, my doctor told me they can cause temporary blindness and severe muscle cramps that force you to lay in bed, curled up in a ball. And let's not forget about the cost. The pills were roughly $15 to $30 each, depending on the dose, if you had to pay out of pocket, which adds up over time. So, with that being said, I kept on searching. I spent hours scouring the internet, reading forums and looking at the latest research. Heck, I even went to the library for the first time in what felt like years. I wanted to become an expert on male sexual health. And I hate to say it, but the penis, yes, I wanted to become an expert on the male penis. I figured if I could understand the anatomy and physiology of an erection, then I could get to the heart of the matter, fix it, and be back to my normal self again. And the first thing I realized when it comes to ED is there's really no mystery. It's about your capillaries, the tiny blood vessels that run through your penis. Because a person with ED, 9 times out of 10, has damaged penile capillaries. And according to the Arizona Center for Advanced Medicine, the #1 root cause of damaged capillaries is silent inflammation. This happens when the vessels in and around your penis can't fully open, which blocks blood flow and prevents you from achieving an erection. Inflammation is like a traffic jam during rush hour, except in your penis. Only until you free up the flow of traffic will things return back to normal. Which still surprised me because, like I said, I was a healthy guy, with no apparent issues other than ED. So, after digging deeper, I came across an old article published by the Society of Sexual Medicine, and I found men with oral inflammation were 77% more likely to suffer from erectile dysfunction. Curious, I found another study in Taiwan, where 23,400 men with gum disease were followed for 5 years and told to record their sexual experiences. 91% of the men with gum disease reported having issues in the bedroom, including the granddaddy of them all, ED. Now, I wouldn't say I had bad oral hygiene. I brushed, I flossed. My wife never complained about my bad breath except for a few mornings every so often. Yet, could this really be the issue? Then the research led me to something I didn't expect. I discovered 1 out of 2 men had a silent form of oral inflammation, which usually goes undetected and untreated by most dentists. Plus, gets worse as you get older, and for some guys, depending on their genes, can appear in the mouth as early as 18, which led me to ask, how can 1 out of 2 men have some form of oral inflammation when we have the best mouth cleaning technology in the world? Toothpastes, mouthwash, everything the dentist tells you to use? And that's when I stumbled across an article by Dr. Lynn Grebon, who revealed mouthwash could be a dangerous source of ED, causing inflammation, because the chemicals in mouthwash break down the natural protective layers around your gums and allow lethal chemicals found in the very mouthwash you may be using to seep into your bloodstream and increase your inflammation levels even more, which gradually squeeze your capillaries shut over time, especially the tiny capillaries found in your penis. But that's not all. One statement from another dentist, Dr. Joe Bulger, claims mouthwash can only add fuel to the inflammation fire, opening your gums for more harmful bacteria to invade, spread, and attack your most vital organs, including your manhood. Then I came across Dr. Kathleen Bernardi, who discovered a few key ingredients in mouthwash could destroy a potent, natural chemical produced in your body called nitric oxide, which helps keep your capillaries open, and again, including the ones in your penis. In all honesty, I couldn't believe what I was reading. But what if I could cut out the mouthwash and kept up with brushing my teeth twice a day? Would that be okay and reverse things? Well, the answer was a big, fat no. In fact, it's widely known by dentists that brushing your teeth only breaks up the food particles in your mouth. It doesn't kill any bacteria or reduce this silent form of oral inflammation, which means it doesn't fix anything. It's like slapping a Band-Aid on your head when you have a migraine. And then it hit me. This type of silent oral inflammation has the potential to cause ED in 1 out of every 2 men today. And if it's mostly genetic, how would any man without mouth-cleaning products centuries ago be able to have sex and spread his seed? Well, the first thing I realized was the average lifespan for a guy thousands of years ago, depending on where he lived, was very low. I'm talking about less than 35. So the chance of this type of silent oral inflammation could squeeze the life from his penis and prevent him from having kids was less apparent. And most guys died way before then anyways. However, what about those who lived long enough to have kids and keep having kids until they died and just didn't have erection-inducing pills or surgical fixes to keep sprouting erections in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, like Genghis Khan, who biologists estimate 1 in 200 Asian men in the world today are direct descendants of his. And that's when I came across an obscure scientific journal about an ancient mouth-cleaning trick used to cure over 30 systematic diseases. Plus, been shown to reverse the side effects of inflammation and heal the capillaries in your penis, allowing you to achieve consistent, full, unblocked erections again, no matter your age. So, after scrambling through countless other documents, I found an old record in the Journal of Ayurveda Integrated Medicine, which is an ancient form of medicine practiced for thousands of years and is still popular in certain parts of the world today. Inside, it listed every ingredient in their ancient mouthwash formula, which was used to treat people suffering from numerous conditions, including erectile dysfunction. So, you can probably guess what I did next. I went out and gathered every one of those winning ingredients from the text, which, in total, cost less than a cheap bottle of water, and mixed them up right away. All I had to do was swish this mixed liquid around in my mouth, and boom, I was done. It was that easy. There was no burning feeling in my gums or teeth, and I could hardly taste a thing. It was effortless. Like, I could do this anywhere, anytime. But after my timer went off, and I spit out the formula, I didn't really know what to do. I guess the true test would come later that evening when my wife got home. And about 45 minutes after swishing around the liquid, I felt an odd relaxation come over me. My body and my penis didn't feel so wound up. It's like the tissue and smooth muscles were getting loose. I went to the bathroom to see what was going on, because for the past several months, things looked smaller than normal and a bit skinnier. But that night, as I was standing there in the bathroom, it looked almost normal again. And it even had a reddish hue, like the blood flow was restored. But still, I didn't want to get my hopes up. So I waited till after dinner, and I urged Lisa to go to bed early with me that night, and decided to play a movie in our room. I figured it was now or never. And as we got in bed, with my wife just laying there, back turned away from me, eyes closed, I started thinking about some of our past adventures. Those unforgettable nights of bed shaking, anything goes sex. So intense, neither of us wanted it to end. And that's when something happened. I looked over the top of the sheets and could see something growing. Things were expanding. Each second, it got larger and bigger. I'll be honest, I didn't get rock hard, but enough to do something with it. So I lifted the covers and looked down to see what I was working with. And there was my manhood, staring back at me as if it was saying, "What are you doing, stupid? Your wife's right next to you." I turned onto my side and pressed it into Lisa. Just like I used to do in the old days, she instantly turned around, thinking it was me poking her with my finger, but much to her surprise, it was her favorite sex toy back from the dead. Her eyes were wide open, and her hand immediately reached down to grab my love pump. Again, it wasn't the rod of steel I was hoping for, but certainly enough to do some damage. And the look on her face was something I'll never forget. She grabbed for the remote and turned the television up a few more notches, so her mother couldn't hear. And for the first time in a long time, I could hear my wife's heavy breathing and moaning in my ear, while she orgasmed over and over again. There was no weakening of the wall, no softening or shrinking. Even after I finished, I could still maintain my almost there full erection. So we just kept going, until I pounded out every last embarrassing and shameful feeling erectile dysfunction brought me. The next morning, she whispered to me at breakfast so her mom couldn't hear, "I think we need to do another test." Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So I did the exact same thing I did the day before. I mixed up this new secret weapon of mine. And by the time Lisa got home that afternoon, I was ready to prove to her this was no fluke. And no placebo effect. In fact, it worked better this time. And things kept improving over the coming days and weeks. I even think my penis grew an inch or two in diameter and length, just from the increased blood flow and relaxation of my penile muscles. However, looking back, I must say, this was the hardest time in my life. Although sex is amazing now, and I haven't suffered a single episode of erectile dysfunction since then, I just wasn't sure if we were going to make it. However, through a lot of searching and praying, somehow, I was led to this ancient trick that prevented us from becoming another divorce statistic, plus erased my ED issues for good. And when I thought it couldn't get any better, weeks after using my new formula, I had more staying power than I could remember, with enough energy to carry me through multiple rounds and days in a row. Now, maybe you don't want to have sex 2 to 3 times every day, 7 days per week. Even if you just want to go a solid 3 to 5 times per week and increase your sense of stamina and libido, this ancient protocol can get you there. Plus, another added benefit, which my wife made a comment about, is the possible increase in size and girth of your erections. I'm not sure how this is happening, but it must be from the general release and relaxation of the capillaries within your penis. Because the only way to truly increase your size is to increase the amount of blood flow. The more blood that can enter your penis, the bigger, stronger, and harder your erections will become. And that's when I realized every guy should have this kind of sexual confidence and control. And every guy can if they just follow what men have been using for thousands of years. Because no matter how embarrassing or awkward it may be to share my story on the internet, especially as a young guy and a former virgin who couldn't get it up, I knew I just couldn't keep this discovery to myself. And I had to get it out to the masses. So, men who are struggling with ED or just want more firepower in their pants could have the same results I now enjoy in just seconds per day, and without wasting their money on expensive drugs or risking their quality of life from dangerous side effects. This new revelation gave me a sense of purpose. So my wife and I talked it over, and she agreed with me, and thankfully, she allowed me to tell our story. Because as a couple, deeply rooted in our faith, we believe in helping others and giving back as much as we can. There's hundreds of thousands of sexless relationships on the brink of destruction, all because of erectile dysfunction. Something I know, if you could control, you would. And now you can. And that's exactly why you're here on this website right now. To regain control of your sex life and win back the strong erections you once had. And I'm proud to announce, since discovering this simple trick, I've tinkered and tested things to make it absolutely foolproof and to work even better. You won't need to be a rocket scientist to use this and experience the erections plus staying power you remember having in your teens and 20s. Like you heard earlier, I was determined to become an expert on the anatomy and biology of the penis. I don't want to be known as the erection expert, but that's exactly what happened during my quest. Which is why I'm excited for you to experience even better results than I had that first night Lisa came home. My ancient ED Fix system is the only 100% all-natural and drug-free solution to eliminate your erectile dysfunction by addressing the real root cause and not just masking the symptoms. In just minutes, you'll be able to experience the type of erection you remember having years ago, rock hard, full, sensitive, and begging to be used for any type of sex you enjoy, whether it's passionate and slow or hard and fast. Because 9 times out of 10, ED is caused by one thing: poor blood flow to your penis. This poor blood flow happens because of damaged, inflamed capillaries that block your ability to achieve an erection. But if you heal these damaged capillaries, which is easy to do, with the ancient ED Fix, you'll instantly enjoy stronger, more powerful erections at the drop of a hat. And you can, starting today. The awesome thing is the ingredients can be found in any local market, cost less than a standard bottle of water, are natural, have 0 side effects, and 100% proven to work. So you can have the rock-hard erections you've been longing for this entire time. Best of all, the longer you do it, the better your results will become. And some men report looking much larger down below in overall size. In fact, a recent survey done by Women's Health revealed 86% of women wish their partner had a larger penis. Not by much, but just a bit to hit every square inch of her vagina. Because the better the fit, the more pleasure she's going to feel as you go deeper and harder than ever before. However, don't take my word for it. Tyler from Dallas, Texas wrote in saying, "Hi, Spencer. I had a friend email me your video a few weeks back, and at first I was very skeptical. Not sure if this was another BS video or if there was some actual magic behind your formula, so I gave it a shot, expecting to take you up on your money-back guarantee. There was no way I thought this would work. All I can say is, following your program was the best thing that's ever happened to me. Not only are my erections stronger, and I'm waking up with the largest morning wood I've had since I was a teenager, but my confidence in the bedroom is off the charts. I'm having sex nearly every night of the week, and my wife loves how consistent my erections have been since starting your program. Thanks for sharing your story with us. I owe you big time." And Jason from Rockford, Illinois, who says, "I started your program because I noticed my erections were losing hardness. And on most nights, my penis would shrink back down before insertion time. My wife had to work extra hard to get me working again, and she would get frustrated every time. Turning sex into work, not pleasure, for me or for her. But after using your program, in less than 2 weeks, my wife was commenting on how my penis was harder, stronger, and bigger than she's ever felt. The other night, she even told me it was too big, and more uncomfortable for her because of the size. So I started dialing down your formula just a bit. However, I'll admit, it was an ego boost. All this to say, thank you for putting this out to the public. I can't repay you enough." And Carol from Athens, Georgia, who says, "I noticed my husband was swishing around some liquid in his mouth for the past few mornings. I asked him what on earth he was doing, and he told me about your website. We've been barely having any sex, once a week, if that. Truth is, his erections were inconsistent, and I think it shook his confidence in the bedroom. And I felt empty, like I was living in a sexless marriage. But after I watched your video, I had hope again, because I knew my husband was fighting for our marriage and our sex life. And after the 4th day of him using your formula, we had the most mind-blowing sex we've had in years. He even made me go twice. And even after, he was still hard. I was amazed. It was like having sex with a man in his 20s. Anyway, you probably don't want to hear all the details. This is just my way of saying thanks. Just like the testimonials you've heard, you can experience the same results in your sex life within the next 24 hours. You'll see how simple and easy it is to have the most mind-blowing sex you've had in years just by following this powerful protocol inside the ancient ED Fix program. you'll discover the #1 worst food killing your erection power and ability to go multiple times per day. Hint: this ingredient is found in almost all your favorite foods. The 2 commands every man needs to know from his woman that can instantly get you hard. Plus, boost your testosterone levels in seconds by 33%. The 3 stimulating trigger points that, when softly pressed during sex, will send shockwaves of pleasure throughout her entire body. I wish I knew this before Lisa and my first night together. A gentle, great-tasting aphrodisiac you and your wife can enjoy 30 minutes before sex. To guarantee powerful, body-shaking orgasms, the single best thing you can do to make yourself appear more masculine and turn her on in just 5 minutes per day. The ancient and largely forgotten secret you can use tonight to give her the first super orgasm she's ever experienced. The #1 law of power every man must know if you want ultimate success in the bedroom. My favorite smoothie shake that skyrockets your libido levels by 89% and tastes absolutely delicious. A simple 5-second trick that eliminates performance anxiety you can use to get rock hard right before insertion time. The instant magnetic attraction switch that guarantees she stays loyal to you forever. How to increase your stamina in the bedroom and cure any sort of premature ejaculation in seconds. Using these 3 sexologist-suggested moves. Best part is, she won't even know what you're doing, and she'll love it every single time. The one all-natural supplement you can consume every day to help expand your penis and turn it into a pleasure-producing machine. Her emotional hot signals. There's 4 of them. That secretly tells you when she's ready to be ravaged in the bedroom. Get these right, and she'll never think about another man again. Plus, much, much more. Now just imagine how it's going to feel to have strong, pent-tag erections again, and be able to have them many times, morning to night. Imagine how it's going to feel to use your newfound power, to go multiple times per day, and to last longer than you could 10, 20, or 30+ years ago. This natural power, this gift given to us men, does not have to float away like dust in the wind as you get older. I'm living proof. ED can hit anyone at any time, even if you're considered healthy by normal standards. However, with Ancient ED Fix, you'll be able to rewind time on your penis and sex drive, like you're aging backwards. Plus, the more erections you begin having, the more endurance you'll develop on command, which can only mean one thing, and that's a guarantee you satisfy her every need, as she feels you thrust in and out, hitting deep inside her climax kingdom as she moans in pleasure and whispers in your ear it's the best sex she's had in a long time. Because after today, you'll have no more fear of another embarrassing episode between the sheets, and you'll never have to worry about your penis breaking down again. So, with that being said, how much do you think Ancient ED Fix is worth to you? First, ask yourself, how much has erectile dysfunction already cost you? Where do you see your relationship going if you continue to struggle? Can you handle another 5 years, 1 year, 6 months, or even 1 more week with ED? Are you willing to risk her finding another guy to take your place and fill her sexual needs a day longer? Because there's plenty of men out there who don't care about a woman's relationship status. They'll continue to compliment her, give her the attention she's been craving, while they sneakily use their resources to lure her away from you, eventually leaving you empty-handed, broken-hearted, and still unfixed. Or you may even become an ED pill-popping junkie, spending a small fortune over the years on pills just to get an erection. Because in the end, unless you're one of the lucky few, you'll do nothing but flush your money down the toilet, since these pills can't fix the root cause of your problem. Plus, you'll expose yourself to dangerous side effects, like low blood pressure, shortness of breath, loss of vision, and even increasing the chance of you dropping dead from a heart attack. However, right now, you have a once-in-a-lifetime chance to avoid all of that. Unlike anything else, Ancient ED Fix gives you the all-natural, side-effect-free solution to fix the root cause of your erectile dysfunction today and allow your penis to heal, fill, strengthen, and then max out on size, stamina, and strength. Plus, launch your sex life into a stratosphere of crazy, fun paradise, giving you more confidence and reliability in the bedroom than you've experienced in years. And leave her mesmerized and addicted to your new lease on life down below, like it's the 8th wonder of the world. as long as you still have a heartbeat, Ancient ED Fix will work for you. And as I said, this is so paint-by-numbers simple. You'll be exploding with confidence, and your manhood will be bursting at the seams in no time at all. So ask yourself, how much would you spend to never deal with another embarrassing and depressing ED malfunction again? To never have to worry about losing your erection in the middle of sex? To stop apologizing in the bedroom? Or make up silly excuses as to why you can't get hard for the woman lying next to you? Listen, to have that feeling again is priceless. And I'm sure you would pay a hefty sum to have amazing sex for the rest of your life without interruption. However, being a privately owned website, I'm free to do what I want, without the pressure of investors or medical companies. I believe it's ethically wrong to take advantage of men in a very desperate situation, because I've walked not just a day in your shoes, but close to a year of what felt like an eternity. I know what it's like to lay in bed at night, wide awake, hoping my wife doesn't leave me for another guy, praying for a miraculous fix for my ED, so I never experience the shame of leaving her unsatisfied ever again, or feel like I'm less of a man. It's become my obligation, my mission, my duty, to save other men from the same struggles I had, because deep down, I feel lucky and grateful. So now, I want to pass everything along to you, which is why Ancient ED Fix won't cost you the normal $297 price I sold it for in the beginning, just to get things up and running. Instead, all I ask is just enough so I can continue sharing my story and spreading this message to other men like you and me by helping me cover the costs of keeping this video up and website online, which is why I'm giving you everything today for a one-time investment of $97. However, if you act in the next 15 minutes, I'll be happy to slash the price and give you $60 off, so you can fix your ED today for just a one-time investment of $37. Plus, you're backed up by my 60-day, no questions asked, rock-hard guarantee. After 60 days of experiencing fully engorged erections and more intense, pleasurable-filled sex than you've had in the past few weeks, months, or even years, if you're still not fully satisfied and aroused every time and would like your money back for whatever reason at all, simply let me know and I will be happy to refund your entire investment right away. But that's not all. I really want to sweeten the pot for you and give you every tool necessary to give you the best sex of your life starting today. That's why, with your order today of Ancient ED Fix, you'll also have access to Ancient Stamina Secrets for Longer Sex. These age-old stamina secrets will keep you and your partner rolling naked under the sheets for hours on end, without worrying about premature ejaculation or anything else to slow you down from having long, steamy marathon sessions of pleasure. Because now, with your erections back in full force, why cut your fun short? You've got lost time to make up for, and with this resource, you'll make it last until you've both climaxed as many times as you want. But I'm not done. You're also going to get the massive manhood cheat sheet. With just a few tricks 99% of guys never heard of, you can have an erection reaching full capacity every time. The massive manhood cheat sheet will give you the girthy erections she'll love every single time. And trust me, she will never look at your manhood the same. The results will be that noticeable. Most men report adding at least an inch, some up to 3 inches in total size, without having to pop any weird pills or perform any funky exercises. You'll also get bonus number 3, the 3-time sex method. This is exactly what it sounds like. Whether you want to go 3 to 5 times per week or 2 to 3 times per day, the 3-time sex method will show you how to silently send subconscious signals that turn her on and secretly arouse the pleasure centers in her brain that cause her to crave sex. With only you, any hour and any day you want it, the tactics in the 3-time sex method will have her yanking you into the bedroom, ready to please and pleasure you at the drop of a hat. Just make sure you stay hydrated. Last yet not least, bonus number 4, 17 foods that boost libido. You'll discover the 17 foods to magically ramp up your sexual appetite. Whether you need a jolt of added energy in the bedroom or your partner needs a boost in her mood for sex, simply eat one of these tasty foods with your breakfast, lunch, or dinner plate and watch the sexual tension ignite between the two of you. So, with that being said, let's talk value. Ancient Stamina Secrets for Longer Sex sells online for $97. The Massive Manhood Cheat Sheet sells online every day for $59. The 3 times Sex Method sells for $47. And the 17 Foods That Boost Libido sells for $29. So, you're getting in total $203 worth of products that will transform your sex life in days, which includes ancient ED fix all for a one-time payment of only $37. So, if you're ready to get started, hit the button below, and you'll be immediately taken to the secure and private checkout page. From there, you'll fill out your information and you'll be all set. Because at this point, what else is there to do? Do you really want to go down the route of ED-inducing drugs with nasty side effects? Maybe you have already, and they didn't do anything. Or you just didn't like the idea of having to take a pill every time you wanted sex. Or what about surgery? Have you given that option a thought? Because it can cost upwards of $30,000 to $40,000 if you don't have insurance. And that comes with tons of potential risks. The scariest one being impotence. Imagine that. Not being able to have sex anymore no matter what you do. Or you can invest $37 in ancient ED fix, which is less than most oil changes and tire rotations at your local mechanic, and never have another malfunction in the bedroom again. Because, in the end, you deserve it. You deserve the sex, desire, and urge you've been missing this entire time. You deserve the excitement and pleasure you remember having years ago. Think about it for a second. Starting today, in just minutes from now, you'll be able to reverse the signs and symptoms of erectile dysfunction and restore your drive and stamina, and do it all naturally and safely without any side effects. Or, what about her? What does she deserve? A man who is capable of meeting her deepest, most natural needs? A man with monster-sized confidence in the bedroom? A man who can truly satisfy her in private? Imagine what it would be worth, seeing that smile on her face when she locks eyes on your brand new hardwood. And she no longer has to feel rejected, ashamed, or ugly every time you two are trying to have sex and you can't get it up. Click or tap the button below. Fill out the form on the next page, which takes about 20 seconds, and say goodbye to ED. Because, in the end, there's no reason not to. So why wait? Because things can only get worse. Let's be honest with each other. Will you wait until she strays behind your back? Will you wait until inflammation destroys more blood vessels in your penis? To the point of no return? Because if you do, then surgery will be the only way to get an erection again. And there you'll be, under anesthesia, knocked out, your manhood literally in the hands of a doctor, with a razor-sharp scalpel in the other, ready to split open your penis and stuff it like a dead turkey with surgical-grade balloon connected to a pump. Now, do you really want to go down this route and take a chance? Or will you wait until your marriage falls apart before your very eyes? Because after all the information you've heard today, could you really lay awake at night saying you did everything you could to fix ED? Listen, I'm not asking you for a penny, because in the end, you're backed up by my 60-day guarantee. Because when you click or tap the button below, Ancient ED Fix will instantly be in your hands, and you'll be on your way to having rock-hard erections again. There's no putting your ED off a single day longer. Hit the button now, and you'll instantly receive the entire Ancient ED Fix protocol along with all 3 bonuses. You have nothing to lose, except a new life to gain. It's time to beat ED once and for all, for yourself and your happiness. It starts right now. Just imagine waking up in the morning with a noticeable stiff sense of pleasure trying to bust out of your sheets, to confidently initiate sex without fear of your penis not working again, or worry you'll lose hardness in the middle of the act, to no longer have to rush, but slow down and enjoy every minute of it, and to watch as you thrust your brand new life into her pleasure place. Hit the button below now to get started, because here's the deal. This video is about to end, so you only have 2 options to go from here. You can turn a blind eye to the information in this video and settle for more embarrassing episodes of a sex life on its last breath, while you make up excuses for why you can't get hard, and you slowly push her away until she finds something or someone else to give her the pleasure she craves. Because if you don't do something about ED, your penis will continue to fail time and again. It will only get weaker until one day you've crossed the point of no return. And any natural ray of hope you had to conquer ED will vanish before your eyes. Trust me, You do not want to go down that road. On your deathbed, all alone because you waited too long and she left. Or you reached the end of the road and your only option was expensive and dangerous surgery that you couldn't afford or were too scared to take the risk. Because in the end, it is a risk. Splitting open your penis with a knife while you lay there lifeless, helpless, in the hands of doctors and nurses is a scary thing. Or you have option 2. You can decide today you're going to fix your ED for good. No more degrading shortages getting it up, and no more huffs of frustration as she storms out of the bedroom. Instead, starting today, when you click or tap the button below, you can revive your sex drive to mind-blowing capacity, complete with fully loaded erections that are maxed out on size and fullness. Today you have the opportunity to take back what has been stolen from you and enjoy this brand new lease on life well into your 60s, 70s, and 80s. So what are you waiting for? Take action before it's too late. This is your last chance. Now is your time to reclaim your happiness and your masculinity. Now is the time to prove to her and yourself that you're the only man who can satisfy her every single time. Don't delay. Hit the button below now to get started right away. Hey, are you still here? Maybe you've got some questions that need answering. Let's go to a few of the most common ones. Question: I'm over 70. Will this really fix my ED? Yes. This system has been for men of all ages to soothe their damaged blood vessels and restore full blood flow to the penis, including senior citizens. This is because the root cause of ED is the same for all ages: inflamed capillaries. So, if you can solve one, you can solve them all. And don't forget, on this page only, you will also receive 3 special bonuses that will also give you stronger and fuller erections, which will last longer and give you and her both more pleasure and excitement in the bedroom. Question: I have a busy schedule. Will this take much of my time? Absolutely not. The entire morning routine listed in this manual will take around 60 seconds to start, depending on how often you want to do it. And you'll only need to put in the time until your full erections are back. After that, you may only have to follow the protocol every other day or every few days. Question: how long before I notice results? It depends how closely you follow the program. If you follow everything exactly as I lay out, you can begin to notice improvements in as little as 24 hours. Question: are there any additional benefits this program can give me? Yes, tons. Not only will Ancient ED Fix end your erectile dysfunction, you'll also max out your capillaries with blood for greater length and width to your erection as you hit every pleasure nerve inside her body. Not to mention the 3 free bonus programs I'm giving you on this page only. So, you can perform for hours on end without the interruption of premature ejaculation or anything else which may cut your sex short. Question: can't I just take Viagra or some other ED pill? You can, but as I mentioned earlier, why would you? Erection pills like Viagra and Cialis don't treat the root cause of your ED. Your penis only becomes more dependent on the drugs until one day, no amount will ever be enough. Plus, you'll run the risk of dangerous side effects, like loss of vision, chest pain, shortness of breath, or even heart attack. And at hundreds of dollars per bottle, they'll leave you penniless. So, why risk the side effects, waste your money, and not even treat the root cause of your ED, when you can have the freedom of erectile dysfunction for the rest of your life, without the health risks? And with just a one-time, fully refundable investment that will give you rock-hard erections your partner can enjoy tonight. Question: who do you recommend Ancient ED Fix to? I strongly recommend this program to all guys, no matter your age, who are experiencing any form of erectile dysfunction. Or even if you just want more sex with triple the staying power and an extra surge of strength in your pants. Because erectile dysfunction can happen to you at any age, just like it did me. Even if you're considered healthy by most standards, this program is also the perfect preventative measure to keep you from experiencing full-blown ED in the future. Question: when will I receive my copy of the Ancient ED Fix program? About 10 seconds to a couple of minutes. After you purchase, you'll get instant access to the entire Ancient ED Fix program. You can download it to your computer and begin experiencing stonewall erections right away. Nothing is shipped in the mail, so you don't have to wait through any long fulfillment process for your program. Plus, you'll save on shipping and handling, which are bonus points for you. Question: I worry about buying things online. Is my payment secure? Absolutely. When you click the Buy Now button, you'll be taken to ClickBank's 100% secure payment form. Your credit card and personal information is electronically processed without compromise. ClickBank is a top 100 global retailer, accredited by the Better Business Bureau, and trusted with over 200 million customers in more than 190 countries. Question: who is ClickBank? ClickBank is a global platform where digital product creators can share their information with millions of customers on a 100% secure network. Only after being approved through a strict authorization process and showing evidence on all written claims can a product creator sell their program using this platform. ClickBank's stern approval process ensures only high-quality products and valid information is given to all customers. Just remember, once you've been through everything, you still have 59 days to decide if you want to pay or not. So there's really no cost of getting in. So hit the button below now and fill out the form. Ancient ED Fix is a click away. I've risked a lot and given a lot to bring this to you. And you don't need to pay a penny for it unless you want to. I mean that. Which means this should be a no-brainer for you. But it's up to you to make it. Don't wait, because your ED isn't waiting. Your penis is only becoming more lifeless as we speak. If you want it back, you have to take action right now. The only action will save your health and your sex life. Think about it. You have one simple act in front of you, which will forever free you from ED and give you and your partner the most fulfilling and satisfying sex of your lives, giving your life more joy and passion with less pain and worry. Claim that today. You deserve it. Click the button below, fill out the form on the next page, and watch as you become champion of the bedroom again. I thank you for watching this presentation and can't wait to hear about your results. Click the button below to get started.